All right, so today we're gonna be talking about if you need to buy a new camera or not. First off, you need to figure out what your needs are and what you're gonna use it for. So whether that's YouTube, filmmaking, photography, anything like that, you need to figure out what your needs are, because that'll tell you whether you need the new high quality functions and gadgets as a new camera will give you, or you could use an older camera, 2, 3, 4-year-old camera with, say, a newer lens or an older lens. For example, if for some reason you need 4K, that's something that a newer camera would give you rather than an old camera. Companies are starting to put that in their cameras now. So in that case, you would need a newer camera. It just depends on your circumstances and what you'd be using it for. So next is budget. How much money do you have to spend? Because newer cameras tend to be more expensive and older cameras tend to be, less expensive because they're not the newest thing out there. But just because something new has come out, it doesn't mean you need it. And that brings me into my next reason, number 3, and is don't buy a camera because you want it and it's the newest thing and because everybody else is buying it and it has all these features. And if you don't need those features, or if you're just a beginner in photography, filmmaking, then don't buy it just because it has all these cool features that all these YouTubers that you watch saying, oh, I recommend the Canon 1DX Mark II or something like that. That's an expensive camera, and there's so many features as a beginner that you just don't need. Work your way into that. Find out back to point number 2, find out what you need. And then if you don't need something super high-end, you can usually find that in older cameras rather than buying newer cameras. And even so, some older cameras have the same exact features, minus a few, as the newer cameras do, and they're half the price. And in case you didn't know, I do have a minimalist mindset, so don't buy what you don't need. If you just need something that shoots 1080p at 60 frames a second, then that's all you need, a camera that shoots 1080p at 60 frames a second. Don't get something that can shoot at 120 if you don't need it, or 4K or anything like that. Not everybody needs a new camera, and that kind of ties in with my last point, but cameras that are 4 years old and cameras that are brand new that have the same amount of features, and right when they both came out they had kind of the same price tag range, there's not a huge difference between the two. That just goes back to one of my earlier points. If you don't need it, don't buy it. And if you're one of those people out there that think 4K is way better than 1080 and you just can't have 1080 because 4K is the new thing and it's sharper and it's crisper, you don't need 4K, essentially. There are some projects, say if you're a freelancer, filmmaker, where you would need 4K, but 1080p looks just as good almost as 4K. Some people even say that 4K looks too real and they just don't like that look. And that's just opinions, so maybe in your opinion you like the look of 4K, so if you want to spend the extra money to get a 4K camera, then you can. So overall, my conclusion on this subject, do you need a brand new camera that just came out in the market? No, you don't, because at least for a beginner, you don't need all those features. As you move up, you might need them, but even then you can probably find a camera that's a year or 2 old that has the exact same features. And sure, you might have to go searching for it and do your research. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe and turn that bell notifications on. I would really appreciate it. Thanks, and we'll see you the next time. Peace.